Hello Hasbro fans, this is Separate Destroyers back again with yet another Star Wars action figure review, and starting a short run of older figures. This figure is Clone Commander Blythe from the Clone Wars line, which was released late 2009 to early 2010, and is a pretty decent figure which I'll get onto more later on, but just go on to the accessories first. And what's interesting is the eBay seller I won this off actually packed it in with different accessories than the actual carded figure came with, and I'm not complaining because personally I'd rather have the accessories the seller threw in that were different accessories to what the figure came with than the different one that was in the carded figure, which was another of those extremely bulky, gimmicky looking launchers, firing rocket launcher things. So personally I'm okay with what the seller threw in anyway. So that he did throw in a DC-15 blaster. We've seen it plenty of times, nothing really too special there. He also threw in the Republic backpack we've seen with a few figures, most notably recently Clone Trooper Scythe in the Brain Invaders 2-pack, and the Cad Bane and Clone Trooper Disguise and Cad Bane's Escape. Pretty cool. Looks a bit different to the others. Looks like it's missing a couple of pieces, like the flap that's usually above there. It's okay, so anyway. Anyway, onto the figure. Well, he does of course come with also the standard clone DC-17 blaster pistols we see with a lot of commanders and captains like Rex and Wolf. So nothing out of the ordinary there really. Pretty cool. Just get rid of the pistols actually and go on to the figure. There's one more accessory which is the removable helmet, which I'll get onto more later. Anyway, one of the main reasons I wanted to review this guy is to remind you that the Clone Wars line did once have great figures, and that Hasbro has done some great figures for the line, including clone figures, and I won't go as far as to say this is one of the rarest Clone Wars figures around. One of the rarest clone figures in the Clone Wars line for sure, probably. But as for the one of the rarest Clone Wars figures as a whole, when you take into consideration lots of them, like Savage Oprah, Professor Ahmed, Evan Peel, Serapos especially, figures like that, they're really hefty with prices on the aftermarket. Although Savage Oprah, Professor Ahmed one has recently gone a bit down in price, because he's coming back in the battle pack. But enough about that. It is a fairly rare figure. Certainly it took me a while to win it eventually, but very happy to have it. The detail on the figure is definitely really good. Really like the yellow lines. Yellow line there. You can maybe see the yellow pauldron bit around there. The arms have got yellow as well, and of course the comlink. Back of the figure, not really too special up around here, but the camera is kinda is nicely detailed, and yeah, very nice. And of course the helmet and the visor does go up and down, so pretty cool. Just before I actually show you the head underneath, just zoom in on the helmet. Very nice. So yeah, really cool. Just shows how good Hasbro's Clone Wars figures used to be. I mean, you got amazing detail like we still get now. I mean, arguably with some figures in 2012 like Scuba Ahsoka and Republic Commando Boss especially, the detail could have been better in the line stage, but the articulation of course is going down. This is a great example of a figure with both great detail and articulation. And anyway, I'll zoom in on the actual face sculpt now, and that is also really cool as well. One of the main distinction features of Commander Blythe's head is of course the tattoos on both cheeks, which is cool. I believe this head that they used on the figure is actually a retool of the 2008, the original Captain Rex figure, and changed around a bit, of course, to look more like Bly, mainly because of the tattoos, of course. Anyway, articulation includes a ball-jointed head, ball-hinged shoulders and elbows, ball-hinged wrists, I should say, ball-hinged waist, actually, forgot to zoom out, but anyway, swivel hips, ball-hinged knees and ball-hinged ankles, so couldn't really ask for much better. It is a really cool figure. And like I've said a couple of times already in this review, it just shows how good Hasbro's Clone Wars figures once were. Then they started making the crappy sculpts with less articulation anyway. And I'm not really referring that much to the stone sculpt, to be honest, because I still kind of liked it. But yeah, I can understand why some people would. I'm more referring to the recent sculpt, this year's one, you know, with Rex and Wolf and Boss with my 8-point articulation. But you know, back in the day, the Clone Wars line had some amazing figures, and this is definitely one of them. Really cool, 10 out of 10 rating all the way. And Commander Bly's a very cool clone character as well. I really hope to see more of him on the show at some stage. I believe there's around at least 7 seasons confirmed now for the show, definitely at least 6. So hopefully we'll see him in Phase 2 armor at some point. We know also we're going to get Gree in the 41st in Season 5 in their Phase 2 armor, so Bly shouldn't be too far behind in Phase 2 armor. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review, so may the Force be with you and happy hunting.